Hello students, welcome to your chemistry class. In this video we are going to discuss about the relationship between atomic number and atomic mass. So let's understand first about the atomic number. So what is atomic number? Atomic number means it is the number of protons present in the nucleus of an atom of that element. So suppose this is your atom, so this is your nucleus. In the nucleus there will be your neutrons and protons, and electrons will be outside. Okay, so what is atomic number? Atomic number is the number of protons present in a nucleus. Okay, and it is denoted by the letter Z. Okay, it is denoted by Z. And atomic number distinguishes an element from that of other elements. Okay, if you know the atomic number of some elements, then we can easily differentiate them. Okay, we can distinguish them. Okay, then so we can say atomic number equal to your number of protons equal to a number of electrons. Okay, if in an atom or if anyone's element, if we know the number of protons, then automatically we know their number of electrons. Okay, then we will read the significance of atomic number. Okay, the electronic configuration of an element can be given on the basis of its atomic number. Okay, suppose the atomic number of your sodium is 11. Okay, so what is the electronic configuration? That is 281. So if we know the atomic number, then we can represent the electronic configuration. Then it helps to determine the period and the group of which the elements belongs. That is, it assigns the position in the periodic table. How? Let's see. Element with electronic configuration 287 will belong to third period, and group 17 or 7th that is 7 electrons in the outermost shell. So if we know the atomic number, then we can know or we can predict their position in the periodic table also. Okay, so see here, from the atomic number we can know the electronic configuration, and from the electronic configuration we can know their position. How? See, this is the outermost valence electron is your 1. Okay, so what will be the valency? Obviously 1. And if 1 valency is there, then that means that is which group? Yes, that is first group, that is your group 1. Okay, that is written there. Then we will read about mass number or atomic mass. So remember, mass number is otherwise known as atomic mass. So what is atomic mass? It is the sum of number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom. So I said you that in the nucleus your protons and neutrons will be there. Okay, so what is mass number? Their number of or their total number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus, that is called your mass number. So mathematically we can write that, or numerically we can write mass number equal to number of protons and number of neutrons. Okay, the total number of protons and neutrons if we will calculate, then we can know the mass number. Okay, so see here in table 1.5 there is written the atomic number and mass number also. Okay, so see sodium 1, symbol Na, and atomic number is your 11 and mass number is your 23. The number of protons is equal to 11, and if you know the number of protons, then how can we calculate the number of neutrons? What you will do that? For that you have to subtract, okay, from the atomic number. Okay, you know that your atomic number is denoted by Z and mass number is denoted by A. So how you will calculate the number of neutrons? That is, number of neutrons equal to your mass number minus your protons number or your number of protons. Like this way you can calculate the number of neutrons. Okay. So here the number of protons is 11 and number of neutrons is your 12. Okay. So like this way the other examples also given here. Then we will see the relationship between your atomic number and atomic mass. So this is the relationship between your mass number and your atomic number. That is, your mass number A equal to your number of protons is your Z or P you can write. Okay, Z plus N. Okay, then this is the relationship between your atomic mass and atomic number. Okay, then if the number of protons are similar to number of neutrons, then the elements are stable. So you have to remember that if the number of protons are similar to the number of neutrons, then that elements are stable. If the number of protons less than the number of neutrons, then the elements are radioactive. Okay, so these two cases you have to remember. Then elements which have N by P ratio around 1 are stable. Okay, and elements which have N by P ratio 1.5 and above are unstable. They are called the radioactive elements. Okay, see here. So N means your number of neutrons and P means number of protons. Okay, then we have to calculate the N by P ratio also. For what? For to know that is your stable or unstable. Okay. Then another topic we will read that about the diagonal relationship. Okay, this relationship we can see in your period 2 and period 3. Okay, so see, so some elements I have written from period 2 and period 3. We will see up to this much only. Okay, so in some cases, in your lithium resembles to magnesium, barium resembles to aluminum, and boron resembles to silicon. Okay, in some cases your lithium similar to magnesium, beryllium similar to aluminum, and boron similar to silicon, and after that it decreases in each step. Okay, so how they are similar? There are some reasons. First thing, the diagonal relationship arises because of the same size of the effect of the size and charge. Okay, as they are same in size, not accurately but nearly as they are same in size and charge, that's why they are similar to each other. And suppose see your size 1 given here, the size of your lithium is 0.76 Armstrong and magnesium 1 0.72 Armstrong. Okay, which seems very closer. Okay, then behavior should be similar also. If they are in diagonal relationship, they are similar, then their behavior also should be similar. Okay, then another case, that is similarity of electronegativity values. See here, this is if their size is not similar, then how can we say that they are diagonally similar? For that, what we will do, we will not compare them on the basis of their size. We will compare them on the basis of the charge. That is, see, this is the size okay, which is not equal or not accurately or nearly also it is not equal. That is, the size of your beryllium is 0.45 angstrom and aluminum is 0.54 angstrom, which is not equal or not very nearly equal so far. Okay, they are totally not equal. For that, in that cases, what we will do, we will count on the basis of the charge. Okay, charge per unit area will calculate. Okay, that is, the charge of your beryllium is 2.36 and aluminum is 2.50. So how you will calculate the charge? You will calculate, that is, charge per unit area. This is the formula, that charge equal to ionic charge divided by 4/3 pi into ionic radius square. Okay, whereas your pi equal to 3.14. Suppose see, beryllium 1 charge is, ionic charge is 2, 4/3 into pi equal to 3.14 into ionic radius square, that is 2 square 4. If you will calculate, if you will simplify that one, then you will get 2.36. Okay. Then I told you about the electronegativity. On the basis of electronegativity also they are similar. See, the electronegativity of your lithium is 1.0 and magnesium is 1.2, which is nearly similar. Okay, and beryllium also 1.5, aluminum is 1.5, which is accurately similar to each other. Beryllium is 2.0 and silicon is 1.8. Okay, which is nearly similar to each other. So like this way, the period 2 and period 3 elements are similar to each other. Okay, and the diagonally presented elements are similar to each other. Okay, what are the regions? We saw some regions. These are the 5 regions. Okay, last one, that they show same physical and chemical properties also. That's why this is the diagonal relationship, that certain properties they resemble same or similar. Okay, and only the first 3 elements of the second period of the periodic table, that is your lithium, beryllium and boron, they not only show the properties of their own group but also of the elements present diagonally to them in the next column in period 3. So this property is known as your diagonal relationship. Okay, that means what? If they present in this group, okay, so obviously they show the properties of that group. Okay, that means this is, whatever the character A shows, B also shows the same characteristics. Okay, but the second period, the elements of the second period, they have the extra qualities, that the diagonally element, suppose it is there, then they show the characteristics similar to this E also. That means that the other group. Okay, this is called your diagonal relationship. Okay, that is what in period 2 and period 3 your lithium resembles to magnesium in certain properties, and beryllium resembles to aluminum, and boron resembles to your silicon. Okay, so only remember your lithium, beryllium and boron shows the diagonal relationship. Okay, and in the next video we will read that how the elements of period 3 are called the typical elements. Okay, so this much for today's class. Thank you.